Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review. Today we're actually going to be reviewing a motorcycle, this 2005 Suzuki DRZ400SM. So if any of you have been subscribed to my channel for some time now, you guys would know that like last year in 2020, I did do a review on a Harley Davidson Sportster, but I didn't have my motorcycle license, so I wasn't actually able to drive the thing. But now I actually do have my motorcycle license. I don't even have my own bike myself, so I'm definitely like beginner when it comes to motorcycles. So we're gonna see how this video kind of like works out, how I'm going to film me actually driving the bike. I'm probably gonna just mount it on the bike somewhere, and then like mount the GoPro on the bike somewhere, and then do like a voiceover when I actually edit this video. But I'm basically just want to do a brief walk around and talk about the specs of the Suzuki. So starting off, it does have a few like aftermarket modifications. It does have an aftermarket exhaust, which makes this thing really loud, and it also does have a Brembo rear brake upgrade, which you guys could see right here, along with the complementing rear handbrake setup. Now going on to the front, it does just have the factory like 2-piston caliper in the front, nothing special up here. It also does have like these kind of stoke covers for the wheel. I guess the owner doesn't really like them. Some people might, I guess, like them, but yeah, it's not really his taste. But I did just want to highlight that too, that doesn't come from the factory like that. And also in the back here, you can see a different subcage for stunting, which is pretty cool. And it also does come with like a little titanium blocker right here for sparks if you're doing like crazy wheelies or anything like that. Obviously, again, I'm a beginner. I don't want to kill myself, so I'm not going to be attempting any nonsense like that today. But the body is finished off in this kind of like black paint with a bunch of these like blue decals. It looks really cool. Basically, honestly, if I were to sum up this bike in one sentence, it would be a narrow, lightweight, street legal dirt bike. I mean, it's not obviously a legit dirt bike. It doesn't have off-road tires on it or anything, but it definitely looks like a dirt bike, and it definitely feels like a dirt bike while riding it. It's extremely agile, a lot of fun. Not the fastest bike around, but again, still a lot of fun, perfect for stunting and like messing around, or even just riding around and getting, you know, your experience up. I feel like from a beginner's perspective, I can offer a kind of unique view and kind of see whether or not this would be like an appropriate beginner's bike. Again, it's probably not the easiest bike to ride, but I'm going to probably talk more about that during the actual driving part of today's video. But just to go over some specs of this actual bike, its dry weight is just 302 pounds. It has a length of 87.6 inches, a width of 33.7 inches, and the seat height is actually pretty tall. The seat height is at a even 35 inches. So definitely probably not, you know, the easiest bike to drive if you're shorter or like a woman or anything like that. I probably don't suggest something like this, but again, everyone's different. And for me, I'm 6 foot. This is my friend's bike. He's right around kind of like the same height as me, so I think I'll just be fine, you know, driving it today. It also does have a 10-liter or 2.6 gallon fuel tank. And moving on to the engine, it's a 4-stroke single-cylinder double overhead cam, 4-valve per cylinder, 398 cc, or just, you know, 400 cc engine. It is also liquid cooled and has a 11.3 to 1 compression ratio, and it makes a max horsepower right under 40 horsepower, right at 39.7 brake horsepower at 8,500 RPMs. It also does deliver that power through a 5-speed transmission, obviously chain driven like most motorcycles out there. And it does have a standing quarter-mile time of just 15 seconds flat and a top speed of around 90 miles per hour. My friend said he did a little bit over 90 miles per hour. Again, that's just a loose number, but again, this thing isn't, you know, obviously the fastest thing around. It's nothing like a, you know, purebred sport bike or anything like that. Now, like pretty much every other single-cylinder motorcycles out there, this thing does have amazing fuel economy, and it makes right around on average 43 miles per gallon, right at 42.8 miles per gallon on average. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for the walk around. Now I'm actually going to hop on it and start it up. It does have an electric starter, and also I did just want to briefly talk about the suspension. The suspension does have a decent amount of travel, as I'm sure you guys could see, so it should be a blast to drive today. Again, I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to film this driving part because I am new to this, so I apologize for that. Again, I'm probably just going to wind up mounting the GoPro on the bike and then doing just like a voiceover when I'm actually back home and editing this video. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to hop on this bike and take this thing for a drive and show you guys my initial reactions. Alright guys, so just starting off here, again, like I previously stated in the walk around, I wasn't really able to kind of mount it on my buddy's helmet or anything, so I basically just put the GoPro on the front of the bike right here. So at home now and actually editing this video, I just wanted to do a little voiceover and just starting the drive off right here, going up this little hill. I'm pretty sure I stall it. And yeah, right there I do stall it, unfortunately, which is kind of stupid of me, but again, I'm just a beginner rider, so keep that in mind. But right here, I kind of lay into it a little bit. Again, not a fast bike at all, but you can hear how loud that exhaust is. I mean, it's basically a straight pipe, you know, no cats or anything. It does have a little muffler on the back of it, but again, it's very loud exhaust setup. And with the little single cylinder engine that it has, it literally sounds like a little like lawnmower engine, nothing too crazy. It doesn't have a really cool exhaust note or anything, but just taking these first couple corners right here, the bike is extremely agile, again, very lightweight, and overall just a really, you know, fun bike to drive. You can probably tell from this footage, but it did actually rain that morning, so the pavement was wet, so a combination of my beginner rider skills as well as the wet pavement, I did kind of want to take it easy. But entering this park here and just going through some of the turns, I did push it a little bit, but again, you know, kind of wanted to be a little cautious on the bike, of course. Also, I did just slow down there because I didn't know what the hell the guy on the bicycle coming at me was going to do. I didn't know if he was going to try to cut in front of me or anything. But accelerating here, the bike felt really, really good. Nice, even power curve. Again, not that much power, but really you don't need a lot on a motorcycle to have fun. But then kind of pushing it a little bit harder here. And leaning into these turns, it felt really, really nice. The tires, even though they didn't have that much thread on them, and it was wet pavement, there was no real hesitation with them. Nothing really like any slips or anything. Now downshifting and going into some of the corners, which you will see here, some of my shifts are not, you know, where they should be. Again, that comes with time and experience, and overall just, you know, I do have confidence on a big bike, but again, I don't have that much seat time, so I'll be hopefully looking to buy a motorcycle of my own in the future and do some videos with that on the channel. But as you guys already know, I'm a car channel, not a motorcycle channel, so just keep that in mind. Like, downshifting right there was really stupid. Actually, I don't think I downshifted, I just missed a shift. But this bike does feel very amazing, and for anyone, you know, looking at this review for some, I guess, for an educational purpose, trying to see whether or not, you know, they should buy this bike, whether it's for them, I would definitely consider it. Like, it could be a pretty good beginner bike, especially if you're a taller person. Like, again, I'm 6 foot even, and I was pretty comfortable on it. And taking some of these, like, you know, turning around here in a very, like, low speed turn, again, I don't have that much experience, but I was still really confident. You see people were walking their dogs, so I kind of like went over on the dirt with it a little bit, and it handles that perfectly fine. Actually, right before we started filming, my friend was screwing around, and back in the parking lot where we were filming at, he kind of went over just that part of the grass. He almost busted his ass, but he didn't. And again, the bike is very, very agile, and it could be fun in both, you know, on street scenarios as well as off-roading, especially if you have the correct tires, you know, to go off-roading with it. And now kind of opening it up on this straight, I think I got it to right around 60 here, which is pretty cool. And then leaning into this corner. Felt very, very confident driving this bike. It wasn't very twitchy at all. Did have decent amount of torque, surprisingly, considering, you know, it's just a baby kind of single cylinder 400cc engine. But it definitely did have a decent amount of torque in first and second gear. But overall, this thing, you know, braked great. I didn't really use the rear handbrake at all while I was riding it because, again, I don't have that much experience, and I like to just use the kind of regular rear brake and front brake. So going over these bumps here, some potholes in the road, and handled them fantastic. Again, not any like shimmying or anything that would be considered dangerous at all. Also, this is one thing that I kind of learned. You want to kind of park off to the side, not right behind a car when you're stopped at a red light. Now, you don't really want to do this, but I think, if I'm not mistaken right here, my buddy pulls up next to me in my Mustang, and we start kind of BSing and just talking about the bike and how it rides. But again, you don't really want to do this if you're, you know, first-time rider, but you do want to stick to the side of any vehicles in front of you on a red light in case you know, God forbid, get rear-ended. But going into this street right here, up ahead there are some more twists and curves, so I kind of take those not really too hard, because again, I do have this Volvo in front of me. You can see right here I'm backing up, leaving him a little bit of space, and so I could accelerate through those corners. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, you know, for today's video. I'm sorry if it wasn't, you know, extremely informative, if maybe it was, you know, missing out some information, but as you can see right here in the last couple of corners, this thing, you know, handles amazing. It's one thing that I found really, really awesome while driving the bike. It was really, really confidence inspiring for especially someone like a new beginner rider like myself. This was also the very first time I was actually riding a motorcycle on public roads, and I felt 100% confident in this bike. Again, it didn't feel too fast, it didn't feel dangerous, it felt, you know, nice and smooth under braking, and it felt really, really awesome while cornering. So if you are looking to potentially buy this Suzuki, you know, if you're in the market for one, I definitely would say that, you know, I think that they're really awesome bikes. I don't know how they are, you know, reliability wise or anything like that over time, but for the most part, this one, my friend has had no problem since he bought it, and I honestly had a blast while driving it. So anyways, guys, that's, again, pretty much just going to wrap up today's video. If you haven't already, definitely be sure to like this video, subscribe down below if you're new to my channel. It helps me out a lot as a smaller YouTuber, but like always, thank you for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.